High above the endless tapestry of clouds, the airplane soared gracefully into the twilight. The cabin was bathed in a soft, ambient glow as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of lavender, rose, and deep indigo. Amid the gentle hum of the engines and the quiet murmur of the passengers, an air of introspection settled over everyone on board. In this serene yet charged atmosphere, two men stood out like contrasting brushstrokes on a vast canvas. Seated by the window, Keanu Reeves exuded a calm and reflective presence. His eyes, deep and contemplative, mirrored the vast expanse of the sky outside. It was as if every shifting cloud and every distant light held a secret meant only for him. A few rows away, Victor occupied his seat with an air of self-assured superiority. His piercing gaze swept over the other passengers, his posture and tone suggesting that he viewed the world as a stage on which only a select few truly belonged. Victor's demeanor radiated confidence, yet beneath that polished exterior lay an intricate web of pride and vulnerability waiting to be unraveled. As the minutes slipped by, the soft clinking of cutlery and the rustle of newspapers formed a backdrop to the silent reverie of the cabin. Suddenly, the stillness was broken by Victor's assertive voice. "Look around you," he declared loudly, his tone both commanding and dismissive. "None of these people understand what it truly means to excel. Real success is reserved for those who, like me, dare to rise above mediocrity. In this world, the ordinary simply cannot compare to greatness." The words hung in the air like a challenge, drawing a few startled glances and whispers from nearby passengers. Yet, amidst the murmur of discontent, Keanu's serene expression remained unbroken. In a measured, almost meditative cadence, he responded, "Every person carries within them a unique light, a brilliance that is not meant to be compared or measured against another. Our differences create a rich tapestry that defines life's true beauty." His gentle tone, laced with wisdom and genuine empathy, cut through the tension that Victor's words had sown. Victor's lips curled into a dismissive smile as he retorted, "Perhaps you speak of light and beauty because you've never truly known what it means to be exceptional. Maybe you're lost in these abstract ideals, oblivious to the reality of achievement." The air grew thick with the charged energy of their conflicting perspectives, each word forging a subtle line between the two men that was as palpable as the distance between their differing worldviews. Just as their verbal sparring began to settle into a tense silence, the airplane shuddered. A sudden bout of turbulence rattled the cabin, and for a few heartbeats, the steady hum of the engines was replaced by the uneasy symphony of rattling overhead compartments and clinking glasses. Victor's confident facade faltered for an instant. His grip on the armrest tightened imperceptibly, and for the first time that evening, a flicker of genuine concern shone in his eyes. "It's just a minor gust," he muttered, though his voice betrayed an underlying tremor that he could no longer hide. Keanu, meanwhile, turned his attention to the window, watching wisps of clouds rush by in a silent dance. "The sky always reminds us that even the most meticulously planned journey can be disrupted by unexpected currents," he said softly. "It's not about never facing a storm, but rather about how we navigate through it." His words resonated not only with the passengers who listened but also with Victor, whose hardened exterior now seemed to waver as the turbulence outside mirrored the shifting landscape of his inner world. As the plane steadied and the normal hum of the flight resumed, the charged conversation between the two men evolved into something more reflective. With the immediate threat of the turbulence fading, Victor leaned forward, his earlier bravado replaced by a tentative introspection. "I have always believed that my way was the only way to true success," he admitted slowly, his voice a blend of conviction and dawning uncertainty. "I built my reputation on the certainty that I was superior, that nothing could shake my resolve. But perhaps tonight, the sky is teaching me that there's more to life than rigid self-assurance." Keanu's response was soft and encouraging. "Sometimes, it takes the unexpected to peel away the layers we hide behind," he mused. "Every person around you is fighting their own battles and searching for meaning. Perhaps, instead of measuring ourselves against others, we should learn to appreciate the strength found in our vulnerabilities." His words, simple yet profound, began to erode the walls that Victor had spent years constructing. In the quiet moments that followed, a transformation began to take shape within Victor. The turbulent energy of the flight, both literal and metaphorical, had stirred memories long buried beneath layers of arrogance and pride. He recalled times when his relentless pursuit of success had left him isolated, when his dismissive attitude had cost him genuine connections. The realization crept in slowly, a recognition that his pride, which once seemed like an impenetrable shield, was in fact a barrier preventing him from experiencing life's deeper, more meaningful connections. As the journey continued and the airplane sailed steadily through the night, the conversation between Keanu and Victor deepened further. With the exterior darkness providing a stark contrast to the soft glow of the cabin lights, Victor's tone shifted. "I've spent so much time focused on proving my worth that I've forgotten what it means to truly live," he confessed, his voice laden with regret. "I always thought that success was defined by the accolades and admiration of others, yet I'm left wondering if I've been chasing an illusion all along." His admission was both raw and sincere, an opening of a door he had kept bolted for far too long. Keanu listened intently, his eyes reflecting a mix of compassion and understanding. "Success isn't solely measured by external validation," he said quietly. "It's found in those moments of genuine connection, in the courage to be vulnerable and honest with ourselves. True strength comes not from an unyielding facade but from embracing our imperfections and learning from them." His words carried the weight of personal experience, and as they echoed softly around the cabin, even the other passengers seemed to absorb their quiet truth. In that intimate exchange, the airplane transformed from a mere vessel traversing the night sky into a sanctuary of self-discovery. The occasional bump of turbulence became a metaphor for life's unpredictable challenges, a reminder that even in moments of uncertainty, there was an opportunity for growth and change. Victor's hardened gaze softened as he considered Keanu's insights, his inner turmoil giving way to a stirring curiosity about the possibility of a different path. For the first time in a long while, he found himself questioning the rigid beliefs he had clung to so fiercely, wondering if perhaps the pursuit of true excellence was not about standing above others, but about standing together, united in our shared humanity. As the flight pressed on, the dialogue between the two men continued to meander through the landscapes of memory, regret, hope, and redemption. Victor spoke of the many instances when his arrogance had alienated those around him, a bitter irony for someone who had so long equated superiority with success. "I used to believe that being better than everyone else was the key to happiness," he murmured, almost to himself. "Yet now I see that in my quest for validation, I've missed the beauty of simply being human." His voice was tinged with a mix of sorrow and newfound humility, as if the turbulence outside had stirred not only the air but also the very core of his being. Keanu, ever the calm presence, shared his own reflections. He recounted a time when he had lost a dear friend, a loss that had left an indelible mark on his soul. "I learned that pride can be a prison," he said quietly. "It isolates us from those who could offer us genuine support, from the very connections that make life worth living." His tone was reflective, the memories of past mistakes serving as a quiet warning to both himself and his newfound confidant. "There is beauty in our imperfections," he added. "Every scar, every moment of vulnerability, is a testament to our capacity to overcome and grow." The conversation took on the cadence of a shared meditation as the airplane's engines hummed steadily in the background. Outside, the darkness of the night slowly yielded to the promise of dawn, the first hints of light shimmering softly on the clouds below. In that gentle pre-dawn glow, Victor felt a stirring of hope, a delicate realization that perhaps, by embracing his vulnerabilities, he could begin to heal the wounds inflicted by years of misplaced pride. In a moment of rare sincerity, Victor spoke again, his voice barely above a whisper. "I realize now that I've been so consumed by the need to prove myself that I lost sight of what truly matters. I've built walls so high around me that I forgot what it means to be truly connected to others." The words, unadorned and honest, resonated deeply within the quiet confines of the cabin. For a long time, he had believed that admitting weakness was tantamount to defeat, but in that vulnerable confession, he sensed the first flicker of liberation. Keanu's response was a gentle smile and a soft nod. "We are all works in progress, Victor," he said reassuringly. "Every experience, every hardship, is an opportunity to learn more about who we are. True courage lies not in hiding our flaws, but in facing them head-on and finding the strength to change." His voice, imbued with compassion, carried a timeless truth, a reminder that every person's journey is marked by moments of struggle and redemption. As the airplane continued its journey toward a new day, the conversation between the two men settled into a reflective silence. The earlier tension, once palpable and sharp, had given way to a quiet understanding that bridged the gap between arrogance and humility. The cabin, filled with the soft rustling of pages and whispered exchanges among passengers, seemed to share in their contemplative mood. Every face in the dim light bore traces of introspection, as if each person was silently revisiting their own stories of pride, loss, and hope. Victor found himself gazing out of the window once more, watching as the horizon slowly brightened with the promise of dawn. The sky, once an endless expanse of dark mystery, now shimmered with delicate strokes of light, a reminder that every night, no matter how turbulent, is invariably followed by a new beginning. In that quiet moment, he felt a stirring of gratitude for the unexpected lessons the journey had provided. It was as if the heavens themselves were urging him to let go of old resentments and open his heart to the possibility of change. In the final hours of the flight, as the aircraft began its gentle descent toward its destination, the transformation that had taken root in Victor became unmistakably clear. The man who had once boasted of his superiority now carried himself with a newfound humility. His eyes, no longer narrowed in judgment, shone with the soft light of introspection and a tentative hope for the future. The conversation with Keanu had not only challenged his long-held beliefs, but it also opened a door to self-acceptance that he had long denied himself. As the plane taxied toward the runway, the ambient light of dawn bathed the cabin in a warm, forgiving glow. The shared journey, though marked by moments of tension and inner turmoil, had ultimately united the passengers in a silent acknowledgement of life's fragile beauty. Victor's final words before disembarking were quiet but resolute, a promise to himself that he would carry the lessons learned high above the clouds into every facet of his life. Today, I discovered that true strength isn't measured by how high we soar above others, but by how courageously we face our own imperfections, he murmured, his voice filled with a mix of regret and hope. Keanu's parting smile was gentle and knowing. With a nod that spoke of mutual understanding, he stepped off the plane, leaving behind not just the confines of the aircraft but a legacy of introspection and quiet wisdom. In that final moment, as the doors closed and the aircraft began its next chapter of its journey, the memory of their conversation lingered, a testament to the idea that every encounter, no matter how brief, has the power to reshape our lives. The flight had been more than a simple passage from one destination to another. It had been a profound exploration of the human spirit, a journey into the depths of pride and vulnerability, and ultimately, a reminder that every storm, no matter how fierce, eventually gives way to the gentle light of a new dawn. In the soft glow of that new day, each passenger carried with them the silent promise that life, with all its uncertainties, was also filled with infinite possibilities for growth, redemption, and transformation. And so, as the world outside awakened to the promise of a fresh beginning, Victor stepped forward into the light with a heart unburdened by past arrogance, ready to embrace a life defined not by the measure of his superiority, but by the quiet strength of his humanity. The journey, both in the skies and within, had taught him that sometimes the most profound changes occur in the spaces between our most turbulent moments, and that the winds of change, however gentle, can carry us toward a horizon filled with hope.